Welcome to SATV News. This is Nuri Alamin with the headlines. Election Commission will announce election roadmap next week, said EC Secretary Akhtar Ahmed. Those delaying polls want to bring back dictatorship, said Shamsudzaman Dudu. February election deadline must not be crossed. Advisors willing to join politics should resign before poll schedule, said Asif Mahmood. Dismisses extortion allegation as baseless. Now in details. The Election Commission will announce the roadmap for the upcoming national parliamentary elections next week, said EC Senior Secretary Akhtar Ahmed. The roadmap will include all preparations and detailed guidelines for the polls. He also said today during a briefing at Nirbachan Bhavan in the capital's Agargaon area today. The Commission has discussed the Commission's roadmap. Hopefully, the Commission will be able to release the election roadmap next week, which will give an idea about our preparations, Akhtar also added. He also said, in addition to the Commission will hold a meeting with journalists to provide them with a clear understanding of its election preparations. The Secretary further said the roadmap will outline preparations before and after the announcement of the election schedule, including voter list update, the delimitation of constituencies, party registration, amendment and the election laws as well, and the procurement of equipment, dialogue with political parties, and stakeholder training, printing, law and order meetings, and discussions with election officials. BNP Vice Chairman Shamsudzaman Dudu today urged people to stay alert so that no one could delay the national election beyond February, warning that any such move would open to the door for the return of fascism. An acceptable, fair and transparent election is needed to restore democracy, and such an election has been announced for next February. People are happy and expect the election to be held within February, he told to a protest rally. The BNP leader said everyone at home and abroad, including experienced political parties and election experts in the country, knew there was enough opportunity to hold by the election by December. The Operator Bangladesh organized the program in front of Jatiya Press Club, protesting what they said is a plot to relay a national election. Staring at the election must be held within the announcement deadline. Dudu warned that any attempt to delay the polls would be an effort to bring back fascism and autocracy in the country. He further said, and those who are delaying the election want to bring back the dictatorship. Local government advisor Asif Mahmood Shoji Bhuiya today said that those advisors who intend to join politics after the announcement of the election schedule should resign. He also made the comment while talking to journalists at the Secretariat. Asked if he could resign, advisor Asif said no decision has been made yet and the final decision will come from the government in this regard. Replying to another question, he said it is still pending whether he will contest election or join the National Citizen Party. Regarding extortion allegation, the advisor stated that he had no connection with the incident. He further dismissed those allegations as baseless and politically motivated. Over 1 lakh people have been stranded as the Tista and the Dudhkumar River have swelled above the danger level, flooding large swamp and the cropland homes and a low-lying area in the northern part of Bangladesh. In Nilphamari alone, around 10,000 families in the town Upazila have been stranded, while vast tracts of Aman paddy, vegetable and homestead are underwater, said executive engineer of the Dalia Water Development Board in Nilphamari. The deluges have been fueled by heavy rainfall and hill torrents from upstream India The India, which opened all gates on the neighboring country, the Gozaldova barrage, sending a surge through the Tista, he also added. According to BWDV in Dalia, the Tista was falling 52.3 meter at 9 a.m. today, 15 centimeter above the danger mark of 15.15 meter from 11 centimeter above danger level just 3 hours earlier. The High Court today directed the authorities concerned to prepare a list of those involved in the looting of stone from Shadapathor tourist attraction in the Bolgonj under Silet Companyganj Upazila. The High Court bench of Justice Zinath Haq and Justice Ainun Nahar Siddiqa passed the order in response to a writ petition filed by Human Rights and Peace for Bangladesh, a rights organization. In addition, the court has ordered that all the stone looted from be restored to the original location within the 7 days. During the hearing, Advocate Monzil Morsheb argued the petitioner. Additionally, High Court fixed August 17 from hearing in another writ petition filed over the same incident, stone looting. The High Court bench of Justice Fahmida Kader and Justice Syed Nahar Mansoor set the date today. According to petition, over the past year, vast amount from the stone have been illegally extracted from Companyganj and the Goainghat Upazila, often in broad daylight and in full view of local administration official, without any effective action being also taken.
Climate change.
Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back, and you are watching SATV News. Now news from abroad. US President Donald Trump on Wednesday called on his fellow Republicans to Congress to pass a crime bill extending 30 days limit on federal police control in Washington, adding that he could declare a national emergency if lawmakers don't act. The crime-related the legislation would initially pertain to the nation's capital, but could be used as a model for other U.S. cities. He also added, The Trump administration is going to ask for extension on that, a long-term extension. It will be a long-term extension, said the U.S. President at the Kennedy Center after the announcement in the 2025. If Congress doesn't pass an extension, he can declare a national emergency in order to extend 30-day limit, Trump further asserted. Israeli far-right finance minister Bezalel Smotrich approved for the overnight on Thursday that settlement that could split East Jerusalem from occupied West Bank. The statement headlined the bearing the idea a Palestinian state storming spokesperson said the minister would give a press conference later on the day about the plan to build 3,400 ward houses, Israeli shelter between an existing settlement in the West Bank and Jerusalem. However, it was not immediately clear if Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu backed the plan to revive the long-frozen E1 scheme, which Palestinians and world power have said would top the West Bank into and will likely draw international ire. A Ukrainian drone attack hit a car on Thursday, injuring 3 people in Russia city of the Belgov, said the regional governor Gladko. The moment of the blast was captured in CCTV footage showing debris scattered across the road and a vehicle on fire. As a result of this strike and recent attack on the Belgov, Gulfi ordered the cancel all public events in town until the end of the week. All parks and shopping malls will be closed. Company asked to allow staff to work from the homes. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met British Prime Minister Keir Starmer in London on Thursday to take stock ahead in US President Donald Trump's key talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska on Friday. Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska on Friday and Zelensky, who was Germany on Wednesday, has been working with European leaders to press Trump not to allow Putin to crave off Ukraine's territory at Alaska summit. On Wednesday, Trump joined a Germany-hosted virtual meeting with European leaders, including Zelensky, who sought to set red line ahead the summit to ending the war in Ukraine. Zelensky said he warned Trump that the Russian leader was bluffing about his desire to end the war. Trump later threatened severe consequences if Putin doesn't agree to peace in Ukraine.
This is a very humbling show.
Supporters of ruling Serbian Progressive Party threw flares and firecracker at the anti-government protesters in Novi Sad on Wednesday evening, prompting police in the intervene to end of the standoff. Interior Minister Ivica Dekic said one policeman was injured, and Novi Sad N1 TV footage showed the flare and firecracker being thrown at protesters from the direction of SNS offices. Later, near the parliament building, Belgrade police is riot geared the blockade anti-government protester approaching the area where the Vučić supporters have been capturing since March. Also, in the Belgrade near SNS city headquarters, protesters clashed with police who prevented from them approaching the SNS offices. The protesters have been blamed corruption for the Novi Sad railway roof collapse and have demanded early election they hope would remove Vučić his party power after 13 years. They have accused Vučić and allies to tie organized crime, violence against rival and curbing media freedoms.
Nastavljaju se nemiri, policija apsolutno ne reaguje, sve vreme je pasivna. On ima svega nekoliko trasa, dakle, iako je reč o bulevaru, ovo nije toliko, dakle, širok prostor.
At least 26 people died in a migrant swordpark of the southern Italian island on the Lampedusa on Wednesday, and 60 were brought ashore, the Coast Guard said, adding that the death toll was still provincial amid ongoing search operations. An Italian law enforcement aircraft spotted a capsized boat with the bodies in water about 14 miles in the Lampedusa on Wednesday morning triggered a rescue operations, the Coast Guard said. In a statement, the Coast Guard said the 5 ship, 2 aircraft and 1 helicopter were operating at a rescue site. Initialized refugee agency UNHCR indicated that group and the migrant comprised some 92 to 97 people since the beginning of the year. 675 people have been died in the Mediterranean while they are trying to make a crossing, said Filippo Ongro, a UNHCR spokesperson in Italy. The North Korean Supreme Leader Sister Kim Jong-un said on Thursday that the country has never taken down propaganda loudspeaker and will not do the calling. South Korea briefed that Pyongyang was responding to its peace overcharge in the pipe dream. Zong, who is a senior official in the North ruling Worker Party, also said a change made the plan who annual joint military drills by the South Korea and United States was a fertile move that doesn't change the ally hostile. The intent Kim, who official and analysts believe is speaker for the broader, as the recent week rebuffed move taken by South Korea, new liberal government aimed by the easing tension between the two Koreas. Meanwhile, South Korea's military has said it declared and detected the moves by the North military to dismantle some propaganda loudspeaker directed at South following similar moves by the South. Had tripped Gio Filinfa afraid to the crossbar just before the halftime. The Chevalier expected to PSG regular goalkeeper that season after Gaunlungi was surprisingly left out to their squad was beaten again early to the second half when he got. Meanwhile, Real Madrid continued to be number 1 to the club ranking published by UEFA ahead of the new season despite the relatively poor performance in the last season. The men in white have 30, 29, 34 and 24.5 points in the last 4 seasons respectively, thus taking their tally to 117.5 with the upcoming season calculated as the first season a 0 point. The closest competitions are Bayern Munich 108.25 while the Inter Milan a third and 107.25 point. Barcelona remain the closest placed Spanish side at the 9th place with 83.25 points, the weakest point in the Real Madrid 5-year point tally in front of last season where they fell in the quarter-final against Arsenal. Before ending, we'll go through the SATV News headlines again. Election Commission will announce election roadmap next week, said EC Secretary Akhtar Ahmed. Those delaying polls want to bring back dictatorship, said Shamsudzaman Dudu. February election deadline must not be crossed. Advisors willing to join politics should resign before poll schedule, said Asif Mahmood. Dismisses extortion allegations as baseless. You are up to date with our top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.